Now, with creating a Facebook fan page, let me go ahead and pull up Facebook over here for you guys. I have actually already gone ahead. Good, Peter. Glad to hear. I've already gone ahead and created these pages so I could show you guys in the guidebook. But I'm also going to go through here on Facebook itself and actually show you guys how all of this works, and then I'll even get a little more in-depth with the webinar here and show you guys some tactics beyond what I've gone over in the guidebook also. So to start with, we're going to be creating a page on Facebook. Now, you already need to be signed into a personal Facebook account to do this. This could be your normal Facebook account that you already use, but there is one thing that you need to think about before you actually decide to go ahead and create your page. And this is dependent upon who your friends are. You have to consider if you have other marketing friends, unless you trust them completely 100% and you actually know these people and talk to every single one of them on a regular basis and know beyond a shadow of a doubt that they won't try to steal your work from you, then you can go ahead and create it on your own personal Facebook account. Even if you do have some people on your friends list that you may be concerned about, what you can do is actually use some privacy settings for your page so you can effectively hide it from particular people. Now, getting into the privacy stuff is a little bit complicated depending on exactly how you want to go about doing it, how many people you need to block, whether you already have them sorted out into a particular list or not. Facebook has a lot of good information on their privacy settings. You can get to those through this little gear icon right here and just go down to privacy settings if you need to do something like that. Another option is just to create a completely new Facebook account, a personal Facebook account, and you could even just make it a fake account, essentially. Just to create these affiliate pages and groups and stuff, if you are worried about people that are on your friends list potentially running into them or finding them and then, proceeding on to your site and basically copying your content and using it elsewhere, creating their own site with it, publishing it on other websites. The list can really go on and on. So obviously people can still come across your website and your content other ways, but when certain people know what you're doing, they may try to target you. So like me personally, I have to hide a lot of my sites. I share some sites with my customers, and obviously like I'm building a site for you guys. So, particular sites like those, I obviously do share. But then there are plenty of others where if I shared all of my sites, many of them would lose their effectiveness because that content would simply get rehashed elsewhere, unfortunately. So, most of you probably won't have to have those types of concerns, but I simply wanted to go ahead and mention that to start with, just simply because it is something that I have to worry about, and at least some of you out there may have to. With creating a new Facebook account, it tried to default to the old account before. George, one thing that you may be able to try, I haven't done this in a while. I have have a couple of different Facebook accounts. Right, Linda, that is one way to go about doing it. Like if you don't like your page that you've created, then it might not show up in your news feed or something. But when you go about making posts on that page, sometimes the privacy settings can be set up to basically make your business page posts show up, on your personal friends' news feeds, for example. George, have you possibly tried using a different browser to do it? One thing, unless perhaps they've put some safeguards into place since I did it last, you should definitely be able to do it. My wife has her own account. I have an account. We've used the same computers, and then I actually have a total of 3 personal Facebook accounts. So what you may want to do is just try using a different browser and creating a page, a new account that way, and then hopefully it should not recognize any of your previous information. I actually like to use Google Chrome for Facebook. A couple of particular things that I do, although it's really just having to do with my advertising stuff, it only works with Google Chrome. So one way that you can actually still manage 2 personal Facebook accounts at the same time is to simply have 2 different browsers open on your computer, and you can actually be logged into one account on one browser and another account on another browser. And no, I don't use a proxy or anything to do that, Alice. Yeah, I mean, you could go elsewhere. I mean, I've created other accounts under my same name, but then you could also just create an account as if you were another family member of yours or something. I think Facebook is used to people using multiple accounts from the same computer, and maybe even being logged on to multiple accounts at the same time. When I've had a work office, I work at home now, but when I've had a work office before and had one computer at home and one computer at the work office, sometimes me and my wife would fight over who would be signed into Facebook. And after a while, I figured out that I could just use 2 different browsers at the same time, and she could always be using Firefox and I could always be using Chrome, for example. I actually like using, thank you, Nicole. I actually like using Firefox better personally, but there are a couple of particular things that I actually use Chrome for and find it useful for. Translating websites is one useful thing. You can easily translate sites into another language with it. Yeah, it does have a nice interface also. It's gotten a lot better. When Chrome first came out, I absolutely hated it. Maybe it was my computer or something, but it just didn't seem to work very good with me. Yes, I would definitely use a different email when you're creating the new Facebook account. I think that's the major deciding factor, as long as you have a different email address that you can use. But if you're creating a new website, for your Amazon affiliate site, you can always create a new email address that is simply associated with that website. and use that for your new Facebook page creation. No, I haven't heard about that. I actually will be briefly going into creating an app, at least the basic beginnings of it, to accomplish something, adding WordPress to our site, or Facebook to our site today. Right, Nicole. I could simply create, if I needed to create a new personal Facebook account, I could simply create a new email address on my downcomforterguide.com domain name, and then create the new Facebook personal account under that new email address, if I didn't have a different email address that I could use. And that way you can also kind of keep all of your correspondence for that site coming in through that particular email address too. Well, that's awesome, Linda. Use it to read a Swiss Friends blog. It does do a good job, and it's really quick and effortless. You don't have to keep clicking translate over and over again on each different page you visit. WordPress does have an email function in it. I've never actually looked at exactly what it's using, but I'm pretty sure it's just using PHP commands to process the emails that it sends. You can install a plugin called, I think it's called WP space SMTP, if I'm not mistaken. And basically what you do is add in your email settings from your control panel where you create the email account. You get the configuration settings for that email, basically the information that you would go and put into like Outlook or Windows Live Mail or something like that. And you can add it into that plugin in WordPress, and then WordPress will use SMTP to actually send the mails instead of doing it through PHP. If you're looking to have your site send emails out to customers, for example. Otherwise, it's really not something you have to worry about. And Nicole, a proxy is basically a way that you're I guess I'm trying to think of a simplified way to put it. When you're looking to disguise yourself online, let's say you want to visit a website, but you don't want them to know your IP address that you're coming from. You need to disguise it in some way. Some people use it for anonymizing themselves. Other people use it for creating duplicate accounts and trying to run various types of scams. Other people use them for very legitimate purposes, though. But basically what it is you're connecting to the internet through another computer. It could be a server, or it could be somebody else's personal computer that simply has some kind of spyware backdoor on it that creates a proxy server out of it. And some of them are secret, Nicole, and others are public. You can actually, Stana overseas. No, I actually don't use proxy servers for anything. I figure if you need to use a proxy server to try to disguise yourself to do something, then you're probably not doing it, within the terms of whatever site you're using. So I don't do that at all. I'll go ahead and get on here. I think I covered everybody's questions now. I'm going to create the actual page, or at least show you guys how to do it, because I have gone ahead and set up this page myself. there's a number of different ways that you can get to this page on Facebook, but one of the easiest ways is simply to type in create page up here in the search bar and just look for create new Facebook page right here. And go ahead and click on that, and then this brings you to the page where you can create a business page. And you have to already be logged into a personal page to actually do this, if I'm not mistaken. Now, you have a number of different kinds of pages that you could create. Obviously, you could try to create a brand or a product page or something like that. However, Facebook actually has some, strict rules about this. Obviously, they don't want people creating pages that are, meant to deceive and look like official pages when they're not really official pages, because, people would just go crazy with that and create all kinds of affiliate pages, for different kinds of brands and products and stuff. So that's not really the direction you're looking to take here. What you want to do instead is simply create a Facebook page for a company or a website. So we're going to use this one right here. All you have to do is click on it to get started. Now, if you can find something in this list here that actually fits your particular niche that you're targeting, go ahead and choose that. Otherwise, you can go ahead and select this retail and consumer merchandise. It's really not going to matter too horribly much, because with this retail and consumer merchandise, it actually classifies the page that we're creating as a community page instead, which you should be able to create by going through here. But we don't actually want a community page. We want to have a full-fledged Facebook page. And one of the main differences between the two is simply that Facebook provides the full pages access to insights, which actually gives you information on the likes that you're receiving, engagement with the posts that you're making on your Facebook page, and even demographics and stuff like that. So it's really something that's worth just taking a couple of extra minutes to sort out. But we'll do that after the page is actually created. So all we have to do for now is just select the category, provide a name right here. I will just call this my website name, Down Comforter Guide. However, you want to make sure you look at these Facebook pages terms right here, because if you are creating a Facebook page and you're not naming it correctly, they can, simply suspend it or just delete it altogether, or they may contact you and ask you to change the name potentially. So mostly what you need to pay attention to is section 1 and section 2 right here, especially the first couple of parts of it. Mostly this A section right here. Basically what it's telling you is that, if you're creating a page for like a brand or public figure or something like that, then, you need to be an authorized representative. So I can't create a page for Azon and, try to pose as being, some type of official page for Azon. So instead, what I need to do is create something that's more targeted towards my niche. And you also don't want to get too generic. If you look down here, page names must not consist solely of generic terms, beer or pizza. So you need to have a little something extra to your name. If the keyword phrase in your domain name just happens to be only generic terms like that, you may want to add on one additional word to the end of it, just simply to avoid simply running into problems with this rule right here. For my site, Down Comforter Guide, I feel like down and comforter could potentially be considered those generic words, but I think having the guide on the end helps me to avoid that particular problem with their naming rules here. So if you just happen to be targeting something like Down Comforter, even if that's the name of your website, you may want to consider whether you should be adding on some additional phrase to it, simply to avoid any kind of misrepresentation or something of your page and getting yourself suspended. So simply agree to the terms and then click on Get Started to go through and provide some information on your page. Now, I'm actually not going to be able to pull this page up for you guys. There's really only 2 steps of this page. I'm not going to be able to create it again because it will tell me that this already exists. So the first step, it's a page that is simply asking you for your domain name and a short description. And all of this information can actually be changed later on. The one part about it that you really need to pay closer attention to is the part where you provide the web address for your Facebook page. You actually get to pick out your URL, and obviously it's going to be based on whether somebody else has claimed that URL on Facebook already or not. But as long as it's available, you can basically have your pick. For my site, I just simply went with Down Comforter Guide, and the rest of it I can show you here actually on my page itself. So the second step of the process after you are creating your page is simply to provide a picture for it. You can upload it from your computer, or you can import it from a website. So once you go through the 3-step process, the last step is simply to add it to your favorites, which puts it on the menu bar on the left-hand side, where I just clicked on it to land on this particular page. So after that 3-step process, you are good to go. Your page is live and you land over here. What you want to do is actually update your page information, this button right here. Now, the URL that I provided, you can see it right here. It tells me my URL, facebook.com/downcomforterguide. So this is really the most ideal web address that I could come up with for my site and also for the keyword phrase that I happen to be targeting. And then you get to provide your website address, and it's actually linked from your Facebook page, which I can show you in just a minute. So a couple of things that you want to do right here. The category, this is what I was talking about before. I actually set this to websites and blogs, and then there's a number of different categories here that you could choose from to pick something relational to what your website actually is. And I feel like this is a much better classification than other and community, which is what it actually gets set to by default. So after you change your category, you'll get access to the Facebook Insights, which I'll get into in just a few minutes here for you guys. Now, the topics down below. You're providing words here to describe your Facebook page, but these are actually keyword phrases that are going to be based on Facebook interests that people have. So I could type in like down comforters, for example, But as you can see, it's not already filled in with something. As I'm typing in, it actually provides me with some suggestions here. So if I can find something relational and click on it and designate that as a topic, then that's what I would prefer to do. But if for some reason you can't find anything relating to your particular niche as you start to type out relational words, then you can simply create your own keyword phrases to use here. But I would recommend at least to try to find some topics that you can actually click on to select. And this helps with your search exposure. When people are looking for things on Facebook through this search bar up here, the more information that you can provide Facebook on this page right here for your page info, then the better chance you're going to have of showing up here and also showing up in the sidebar on the right-hand side. A lot of times Facebook will have like recommended pages for users based on their interests and what groups they're a part of and what pages they have liked and things of that nature. So all of that gets connected based on the information that you're providing here. So make sure you go through all of this and provide as much as you possibly can. Now, this short description right here, this is the description that I provided in the step before that I couldn't show you guys. It is just simply a short description. I think it has a limit of 155 characters, if I'm not mistaken. And this shows up on your Facebook page. Now, you also have a long description, and I actually provided a lot more information for this particular description here, a few different paragraphs worth here. And this is going to show up on the About page, which again I will show you guys here in just a couple of minutes. So this is the main information, at least, that you need to make sure you cover. Get the short description, the long description taken care of. Make sure your topics are provided. I believe you can specify up to 3 of them. And then get your category set. After you have done all of that, go back to your page and you should see right here, it'll say website, home and garden website was the category that I selected. Whereas previously it actually said that it was a community page. So I feel like this is a more accurate description of my Facebook page and is also more relational. And it also lets people know that there is a website, behind this particular Facebook page. So if they have an interest in that, then they could simply click on the About link right here and visit my About page. Now, up here at the top, this is the short description again, and then you have the long description being shown down below it. And then over here on the right-hand side, you actually get the link to your website. So you can bring in traffic, number one, through that About page. In addition to that, you can also, do the obvious stuff like make posts on your page. And you could even go beyond that and actually promote those posts. Once you post something here, you actually get an option to promote it, and you can pay $5 or $10 or whatever your budget may be and increase the exposure that your post receives. And the way it does that is people that come in and click on the like button and like your Facebook page. Whenever you make a post on your Facebook page, it might show up in that user's personal news feed. However, when you're promoting a post that is on your Facebook page, you can actually get it to show up in the news feeds of not only the people that have liked your page, but also their friends as well. So you're increasing your exposure by not just getting your direct friends, people that have liked on your page, but you're also getting kind of their extended network as well. Up here at the top, the insights. You can see that it says I need 30 more likes on my page to get access to the insight information. So all you have to do is get 30 people to like your Facebook business page, and then you get access to all of this extra statistical information. It's actually some really helpful stuff, and I really considered putting a little bit of a brief tutorial in about Facebook Insights here, except they're actually in the process of redoing it. If I flip over to like my page for my WordPress plugins, for example, you can see this new page right here where it gives you information about your page likes and your reach and your engagement, your posts, the type of reach and engagement you're getting on them, and you can even get, demographics like whether you have male and female, the different age groups, where people live, the cities they live, the languages that they speak. However, this is actually a new insights, the one that I was just showing you guys. And oh, thank you, whoever did that. This is actually the new insights that they are beginning to roll out. And thank you, Bernie. And it was offered to me to go ahead and preview. So if you were to actually set up a page and get 30 likes, it would probably have shown you a different system from that particular one. And since I'm previewing the new system, I had to completely opt out of it if I wanted to disable it and go back to the old system. And I really didn't want to do that because I was thinking about actually like the new system better. It provides more information. So I didn't want to do that, and also didn't want to confuse you guys by showing you something that you might not be able to see on your own pages. But it's really easy to use. The information is pretty straightforward once you get enough likes to actually be able to get access to that information. Then be sure to take a look at it and see how you can use it. You can help target your advertising better with it, or you could even simply use it to help target content on your website better, or your posts that you're making on your Facebook page. If you know who is reading the post and who's interacting with the post, and what kinds of posts do better than others for your audience, then you can try to maintain a focus on those particular areas and increase the amount of benefit that you're getting from your work. So the next thing that I'm going to be doing here is actually creating a Facebook app. And I'm not really going to be creating a complete Facebook app in terms of a normal Facebook app that you might think of, like one of the games or something that's on here. I'm not actually going to be doing any app programming, so to speak. But I need to create the app so I can actually integrate my Facebook page with my WordPress site. So what I'm going to do right here is just click on the Create App link. This is under the gear icon up in the top right of Facebook. Oh, wait a second. I apologize. Not the Create App one. This actually, I don't know why they do this. I've always found this page to be really misleading. If you click on Create App, you end up here, and it's not really the page that you need to be on to create an app. It's actually the apps link up here. But just to show you guys the actual way I would recommend doing this. Thank you, George. Click on the Manage Apps button right here. And this will actually take you to a page where you can click on the Create New App button right here. And it just asks you for some simple information. It wants to know an app name, a namespace, which you don't even have to provide, but you can. It's really not going to be important for this particular situation because we're not actually going to be directing people to this app. So I'm just going to call this Down Comforter Guide, and I'm not going to name it this time around. I'm not going to actually go through with creating it because I already named it and have it created over here on my page. Now, the category that you are selecting, I just click on Apps for Pages, and then you don't even have to bother with a subcategory. So just click on Continue, and then you'll actually be provided with this information right here. All you need to do is go down here where it says Sandbox Mode and just switch this from enabled to disabled instead. And this just makes the app live and able to be used by the public instead of simply by yourself. So the app ID up at the top here, this number is actually used to reference this particular app when you are creating code for it, for example. But we're going to do this a pretty simple way. You could use WordPress plugins, and a lot of WordPress plugins will tell you that you need to have an app ID, for example. This is actually how you get that app ID, is right here. Now, depending on what you're wanting to do with your app, you may actually need to provide information in one of these additional sections. If you want to use it as an actual app, you provide information here. If you want to create it as a page tab, you provide information down here. But all of that actually gets a little bit more complicated, and that's not the intended purpose that I'm creating this app for. You would actually need a secure server certificate, and you can't actually use a shared one. Like if you use shared HostGator hosting, for example, you get access to an SSL certificate, but it's not dedicated. It's something that's shared among the whole server. So you can no longer use those with Facebook apps. So in order to do the more complex stuff, you actually would need to have your own dedicated SSL certificate. And depending on where you buy them, I'm wanting to say they're maybe $75 a year or something like that. I have one so I can build some apps and base them all off of one particular domain name for more complicated apps that I do. But for this particular tutorial, this is actually all I need to do. I don't need to do anything else except for create the app and switch the sandbox mode to actually make it enabled. Namecheap has a sale on SSL this week. It's good to know. Make sure it's, if you actually did want to get one to try to do some of the more complicated stuff, just make sure you're actually getting a dedicated SSL. They do have them, cheaper through, cheaper than $75 a year when you can catch them on sale and through particular companies. I got that for my dedicated server, and to avoid having to actually set it up myself, you can usually go with one specific company, whichever company your web host is recommending or is connected with. For example, they'll usually have an option, and if you buy through them, then it automatically gets set up for you. So that's not actually something that I know a lot of the nitty-gritty details about. You get all these weird key files, and you have to copy information into different portions of your hosting account. And then again, even if you have like a shared hosting account, you would probably still have to go through your web host to get that set up, because you need access to the WHM for like a virtual server or a dedicated server, for example, to actually be able to install those files on your own. Thank you, Will. Can I take a look at that later? Is that okay? Or you're saying, talking about doing it from a business account? I've never had any issues, at least doing what I'm showing with creating it through the way, like, as far as I know, like all of the business accounts, they're basically based on at least one personal account. So you still sign into your personal account to access your business account. But then can flip over here really quickly. I just need to get to my home page. So if I go to Down Comforter Guide right here, you can see it says up at the top, I'm posting, commenting, and liking as Down Comforter Guide. So I'm currently using my business Facebook account right now, but I can also click right here and switch back over to my personal account. So whenever you're making like a post on your page here, you do want to make sure you're on your business account. Because if you do it on your personal account, then it actually shows in a sidebar as like a message and not as an actual page post. So it doesn't go through your news feed and everything. So, make sure you're simply on the right account by looking up here in this little lighter blue bar at the top. Now, once I have all of this done, I can proceed on to creating something that I can use on my actual live site. I provided this link for you guys in the guidebook. This is developers.facebook.com/docs, D-O-C-S, and /plugins. This is the social plugins page for developers on Facebook. And this actually allows you to do a number of different things here and integrate it with your Facebook page. Now, again, there are some WordPress plugins that will accomplish some of these things for you. So if you're really, really not comfortable with doing it the way that I'm showing you here, you are more than welcome to try to find a free plugin that can accomplish it for you. However, there have been a lot of changes with these social plugins and the way Facebook operates over the last year. So some of the plugins that are floating around out there may not work and others do. And sometimes it's really hard to tell what you're getting until you actually install it on your site and try it out. So instead of going through that process or only recommending one particular plugin for you guys, I thought it would really be better to show you how to go straight to the source so you can figure out how to do not just the example that I'm going to show you guys tonight, but other potential uses of things that you could integrate into your website through your Facebook page. So the one that I'm going to show you tonight is the like box for pages. Now, as you can see here, you have the name of your Facebook page. This is the Facebook developers page URL right here. I'm leaving that filled in because mine is basically going to be blank. You have the name up at the top. You have a like button that people can click on. And then you have a news feed for all of your recent Facebook posts, and people can actually access even more of them. So anything that you post on your Facebook page as content right down here in your status updates or new photos and offers and stuff like that, all of that will show up in this like box that we're actually going to be creating, and we're going to be putting this on our website. So visitors to our website can interact with us on Facebook. And when they like us on Facebook, that's really almost as good as getting them to sign up for a newsletter list, because whenever you make a post on Facebook on your page after that, then that user on their Facebook account, who was simply somebody that was visiting your website at one point, might actually see your post in their Facebook newsfeed. So this is one really easy way that you can kind of gain some ongoing contact with your website visitors without actually having to go through the hassle of creating a newsletter, paying the monthly fees that are associated with the newsletter services and stuff like that. So down at the bottom, you have people's pictures. Basically, anybody that's clicked on the like button, then their picture can show up down below. Obviously, this Facebook developers has over 2.3 million likes, so it's not going to be showing all of them. But when you're logged into your Facebook account, if any of your friends have liked this particular page, then it will actually show their faces down here first. So when people are browsing your website, if any of their Facebook friends have ever liked your page before, it'll put their pictures first, and you know, people will recognize that stuff. Even this tiny little picture there, if that picture is of a good friend of theirs, it quickly jumps out at them, and they're like, hey, my friend likes this site too. And so, you know, instantly they're more inclined to like the site as well, and to also, you know, have some trust in the content of the site and everything that you have to offer. So you can pick and choose certain areas of this. If you don't want to show the border, you can leave that out. You can remove the faces if you want to. You could remove the stream right there if you didn't want to show the news feed. Whatever you want to do, you know, set it up the way you like it. If for some reason, maybe you're just getting started out and you don't have posts and you don't have people that have liked your page or something, and you're simply looking to build some likes, you can simply set it up like this. Just use the show header. The show faces, stream, and the border have all been unchecked, and all you have is the image that you've uploaded, the name of your Facebook page, and the like button. So people on your website can click on like, and that automatically likes your Facebook page, instead of just there are a lot of like plugins out there. Like doesn't necessarily mean like your Facebook page. It could simply be liking a post on Facebook, or it could be liking a particular uh, web page, for example. You know how you can have a like button or a share button set up so people can like or share content with their own friends. This like button actually brings in permanent likes for your Facebook page. These likes right here. So anytime somebody clicks on the like button on my website, it increases the likes of my actual Facebook page and gives me more permanent ongoing exposure with those particular people. So all I have to do to actually get this set up and working for me is simply change the Facebook page URL. And this is the URL that you provided when you're first creating your Facebook page. So I set this as facebook.com/downcomforterguide, and then it shows up automatically under my Facebook page. And you can see that if I add this stuff in, like the people that just liked me, there's some pictures showing up down there at the bottom. So I actually don't have anything in my news feed yet, so there is a big blank space that shows up right here. But as I add content as posts on my Facebook page, then it will simply show up right here. This is created out of your personal account, but maybe you weren't here in the first few minutes or so of this evening, possibly. Basically, if you have friends on your personal Facebook account that you fear would possibly take the content of your website and try to reuse it on their own website, publish it elsewhere, or simply steal it in some way, form, or fashion, then you may want to create a new account by itself, a personal account, to use just for the new Facebook page that you're going to create for your affiliate site, or all of your different affiliate sites if you're doing more of them. So it really just kind of depends on your own personal situation, Will. As long as you don't feel like none of your friends, would try to steal that from you, if you don't have other friends that have, that are actually into marketing or building Amazon affiliate sites, then it's probably not something you need to worry about. And then again, you could also mess with your privacy settings. Go up here to the gear icon and go down to privacy settings, and you could actually prevent particular people from being able to see posts that you make on your Facebook page, or things that you like as that page, for example. But the average person, at least, I don't think will have to worry about it. You probably could just connect it all to your personal account. You're welcome. Yes, it is possible that the URL name could already be taken, Nicole, when you're trying to pick out your Facebook page URL. This is all something that gets set up when you're actually creating your Facebook page. And you can actually see, if you go to the page info, you can see what the actual address is for your Facebook page. So when somebody visits that page, then they land on your page. That's your dedicated page on Facebook. So if somebody already has the particular URL taken that you wanted to use, then simply try to add some additional word onto the end of it. Might be your best shot, especially if that page, let's say down comforter was what I was targeting, and it was already taken. Using down comforter guide would allow me to, have a unique URL, which, is required. You do have to pick something out that nobody else has used before. But then you could also potentially pick up on people that would normally land on that other page. So when they're typing in down comforter into the search bar up here, then they might see that other page, but then they might see your page as well because it's named in a similar manner, at least. Yes, with S, for example, add a S onto the end of it. Make one of your words or your keyword phrase plural instead of singular. It is a good example of a way to overcome that. So yes, synonyms are also possible. If you really can't find something that you wanted to go for, you could also go for a synonym. That would definitely be okay. You have to consider, you're welcome, Nicole. I guess you have to consider that whatever phrase you might be targeting, at least part of it, you could pick up as keyword traffic. So I could potentially get keyword traffic off of search engines for down comforter or for down comforter guide, as well as traffic off of Facebook itself. So once you have this like box set up how you want it, all you have to do is go down to the bottom here and click on Get Code. And then up at the top, you just want to make sure that the app that you created is selected here. This is why we created that app. You can see in this code right here, the app ID and the number right here. So Facebook takes care of all the complicated stuff for us. They do all of the coding. All we have to do is tell it how we want this to look, and then we simply have to retrieve the code for it. Now, there are two different sections of code right here. One right here and another one down at the bottom. As you can see, based on the instructions up at the top here, it says that this part of the code should be placed right after the opening body tag on your site. However, in WordPress at least, this may not necessarily be easy to do. If you're using Weaver 2, for example, it's not something that you can easily accomplish. You can't put it right after the opening body tag unless you actually go in and edit the code itself, which I don't want to recommend to anybody to do that, because if you do that, then you can't update the theme, or when you do update the theme and you forgot that you made some changes to it, then it simply wipes all that stuff out. So what I actually recommend for you guys to do is simply to use both pieces of the code together and just place it wherever you want your like box to show up on your page. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up another page here for you guys and load up the live site and actually put this on the website so you can see how that is done. I'm over here in Firefox just so I can keep all of this separate and bounce back and forth for you guys. On the what do you mean by on the article site? You mean like in the actual content of the page, Nicole? I actually put this in the sidebar. But one thing to consider is the size. I'm going to go ahead and copy the first part of this. I use the buttons Control plus C, but you could also right click and click on copy right here. And then I'm going to come over here into my WordPress site, and I'm on the widgets page under appearance and widgets, and all I'm going to do is simply take a text widget from right here, and I'm going to drag it over here into my sidebar. And then I'm going to paste that content into the content of this widget. Now, I used the buttons Control plus V to actually paste this in, but you could also right click and simply click on the paste button if you want to. Now, I have two parts to this code that I actually need to use. So I'm going to go back and pick up the second part of this code right here. Now, just in case you're wondering why do they have this code separate if it can work together, the first code right here, this is actually going to load up the information for that box while this code is actually displaying the box. So, it's Command C and Command V on a Mac. Good to know, Linda. Thank you. Well, actually, remember that. My mom, now that you mention it, and it clicked in my head like, wow, I already knew that, even though I'd forgotten it for a ton of years. My mom had a Mac when I was growing up, and other than that, my computer experience has all been on Windows-based computers. But I did get to use a Mac there and in art school, I guess, for a little while. Control equals Command, and most of the keyboard shortcuts are the same. That's good to know. The Control and Command, and I think the keyboard layout or something like with the Control key and stuff might have been a little bit different from the PC to the Mac also. This code right here, this is actually loading that box, the information that's going to be in that box, and then this will display it. So obviously, the higher up on the page that this code can be placed, still inside of the body tag, you can't put this in the header of your site. This actually has to be after the header and actually in the body content of the page. So that actually gets it to start loading as early as possible. But we're really talking about most likely a fraction of a second difference here that this would end up making. And since we are using WordPress and can be a little bit limited in where we're actually allowed to place code, then this makes it a lot easier to simply put the code right here all together. Now, just to let you know, if for some reason you wanted to go back over to Facebook and use one of these other social plugins on the same website, any page where your widget would be showing up, your code up here at the top may not need to be repeated again on the additional uses of it. This is actually loading up the Facebook API, basically, is the easiest way to explain it. So if you were using a couple of different like boxes, you could actually just have them one after another within the same widget, but without all of this top content just repeating the bottom parts. Or you could have them in different widgets further down the page. So whatever was highest up on the page, that's where you would want to include this top section of the code. But for this example, and for what most people will use it for, you're probably only going to be using one at a time on a particular website. So what I'm showing you here should be sufficient. Now, when I visit my home page, you can see that I don't see it anywhere. And this is because I don't use a sidebar on that particular page. But if I visit another page on my site and scroll down, you can see that it actually shows up for me now. And the big blank spot right here, again, this is for my my post that I would make on this page, except nothing's showing up here because I haven't made any. Now, it's actually a little bit hard to tell from simply looking at this, but if you can see here, the borders and this whole little widget that I created, it actually extends all the way to the side of the page. The truth is, this thing is actually going out even further past the side of my page right here, but you can't see the rest of it. But if I created a post on this page, you would notice it because the text would actually get cut off. So just to show you an example here, if I just went and made a post here on this Facebook page just to actually have something show up in my feed, and so you can see how all this is working, I'm just going to come over here and say welcome to Down Comforter Guide. I don't really need to say anything. I can always go back and delete this later on if I want to. So I could go back in and simply remove this at some point. So I've made a post on my page now, and if I return to my live site and refresh the page, you can actually see that it's showing up in the sidebar for me now. It's still not taking up all of the available space here because my post was pretty short and there aren't additional ones that it can show down below it. But if I was making actual posts on here to show up in this feed, then it would take up a lot more of this space and actually, you know, taking up all of it because I'd obviously be making more than one post over time. So you can see right here that the word comforter is actually cut off. It's not showing me the entire word. So this is a surefire indication that there's actually not enough space in the sidebar of this particular WordPress theme to hold this widget right here. This is because on Facebook itself, you can see that the minimum supported width is actually 292 pixels. So I can't make it any smaller in terms of the width. So the only thing that I can do is make an adjustment to my WordPress site so this actually fits in. To accomplish this, I go into my theme. I go to Appearance and over to Weaver 2 Admin. And then I go to Main Options and Layout. And then I simply want to scroll down the page and I'm looking for this Sidebar Wrappers properties. Now all I have to do is provide in a percentage right here that is a default width for the sidebars, and this is in relational to the total width of the page content up here. So there are some borders and padding and stuff that goes along with the total width. So I actually need a little bit more than 292. A third of 940 is actually going to be 300 and 13 1/3. So there's a little bit of extra space in there for the padding so everything can actually look correct. So setting this at 33% and returning to my live site, I refresh the page and you can see that it has expanded my sidebar just a little bit here, and this now actually fits in correctly. And you can see I even have a little bit of padding over here on the right hand side, so it doesn't completely butt up against the edge of my page and look strange. So now I can rest assured that anything I post in here will actually show up on my live website. And, so people can easily be browsing my site and say, hey, I like this place, and just simply click on the like button. And then you will have constant future contact with that person as long as they, decide not to return to your page and unlike you. So obviously you don't want to be like spamming them with a bunch of advertisements and stuff. Try to give them useful, helpful information in the posts that you make. Keep your content relevant, and maybe even keep things a little on the light side. There's nothing wrong with trying to, have a good time or post jokes or funny pictures or something, as long as you're not getting too risque about it, I guess. Most people, at least, will typically enjoy that and appreciate that, you're not just spitting out nothing but, hey, look at this product. Hey, look at that product. Hey, look at this product. That'll help you to kind of maintain the following that you actually work to build up through your site. And then you're also going to be building up your following through Facebook itself, and even through search engines. As people find your Facebook page through Facebook or through Google or something, they can come on and like your page and end up on your website also. So it's really a two-way street here. You're building interaction and constant contact and trust with the people that are visiting your site, but then you can also bring in more people to your site, off of Facebook from people that find you through there. So I don't just use this for one particular purpose. It's really a multi-purpose type of thing for me. Now, in addition to the Facebook page, the next thing I want to show you guys is creating a Facebook group. And I'm actually going to go over here to my homepage, and over on the left-hand side here, just look for groups and look for the Create Group link. Simply click on that and provide a name for your group. And you have to go ahead and add one person to your group. If you don't have anybody that you would like to invite to it or that you can add, feel free to add me as a friend and add me to it as your first member if you would like. For the privacy, I always set this to open unless I'm creating this group for a very particular purpose. If, I wanted to create a Facebook group where all of my Amazon students could interact with each other, and I didn't want outsiders being able to get into that group, then I might be wanting to create a secret group, for example. But for an Amazon affiliate-based group, something where I'm trying to bring in as many people as possible, and I don't have content in the group that I'm trying to protect from just random people that stumble across it, then, I actually want to set this to open to try to increase the amount of exposure that I can receive. And this also makes it, inviting for people to come in and join the group so it can grow over time, sometimes without even direct work from you. Once you get enough members in your group, they can actually invite their friends to join the group, for example. And it can really kind of become self-sustaining after you reach a particular point where you'll constantly be getting new members and people will be talking and stuff, and you don't even have to do anything, once it gets built up and a little bit popular. So simply set it to open and provide a name for your group. Now, I could call this Down Comforter Guide, but since this is actually a place where I want people to come and have discussions about down comforters, then guide may not necessarily be the best word to use for it. That and I already have a page that's going to be using that particular term. So to make it a little bit more inviting, I simply just went with Down Comforter Lovers. So this could be a group for people that love down comforters, and they can talk about them and discuss them and, whatever else they would like to do in there, share tips about them and talk about how they clean them and, whatever else the case may be. So go ahead and add one person into it so you can actually create it. It won't let you do so unless you have one person in there. Now, I've already created this myself. After you name it and put a person in it and select the privacy, there actually is one additional step that I did not show you guys, and that simply involves selecting an icon for it. You have a decent size list of icons that Facebook provides for you that you can choose from, and all those icons are these icons that show up in the menu over here. So I went with the little moon and the star because I felt like that was the most relational thing to my niche that was available in that particular icon list. So try to select something that people might associate with the name of your group or your niche, for example. And if you can't, just try to pick something that maybe isn't misleading for them. I don't know if I'd want to put like a soccer ball or a football or something as the icon for Down Comforter Lovers. Even if I couldn't find something that really went along with it, I'd probably go for something a little more generic. Because they don't have a ton of choices. There are a decent number of them, but there's not something there for any given situation. So you might have to get a little bit creative with your icon selection. So once you create the group, you're landed directly on the group page right here. And then you can actually proceed with getting your group completely set up. If you hover up here at the top, you can see that this shows this button that says Change Group Photo. Well, when there is no group photo already set up here, there's simply a little icon that shows up at the top. It's just a picture with a green plus symbol in the corner of it. All you have to do is click on that icon and select your own picture, and you can set your own cover photo for your Facebook group. And if the picture is too big, see, I actually used this particular picture right here. It'll let you reposition it so you can pick which portion of your picture you actually want to use as your cover photo. So you don't have to use something that is the exact same dimension as this area up at the top here. So beyond the group photo, the other thing that I am looking to do is edit some settings that are available for this group. Hover over or click on this gear icon right here. If you notice, see there's the gear icon all the way up at the top right on Facebook. This isn't that gear icon, it's the gear icon that's within your Facebook group right here. Just click on that and go down to edit group settings. And this takes you to an additional page that you have where you can set a number of different settings for your group. So this right here, this is the group address. This is the first thing that you want to set up. And I didn't go ahead and set this up. I thought I would at least leave some of these things that I could show you guys. So I'm going to set this as Down Comforter Lovers. And so you get an email address and you get a web address for the group that you are creating. Emails sent to this address will go to all group members. And if you want people to find your group, then give them the web address facebook.com/groups and then whatever word you're specifying right here. So this again is being used as a website address. So you can see now if you visit facebook.com/groups/downcomforterlovers, then you will reach my group page. So in addition to that, the other couple of things here that I am looking to do is set my description and tags for my group. Now, there are some other settings here like membership approval. You can allow other members to both add and approve members, or you can make it so only you can approve members. When you're first getting started, it may be worthwhile to set it as the first option here, but as you get more people, or if you have people coming in and spamming you or something, you can change it to this other option. And you also have other stuff down below here. You don't want to make it so only administrators can post. Otherwise, the only thing people can do is really comment on the post that you make, and it's really not much different from being a Facebook page. So I try to leave it open to allow members to post in the group, but you can choose whether or not you want to approve all of the posts. If you are getting a lot of affiliate spam, you can make it so you have to give approval for all new posts that come through. So beyond those posting permissions and different approval settings and stuff, the description and the tags and the group address are really the three things that I am here to focus on this particular page. So the description that you provide for your group, make this simply a summary about your group. Maybe invite people to talk about a particular subject, try to spur up some conversation initially with this description. Potential members see this description, but then the actual members of your group will see it as well. So I could just say, welcome to Down Comforter Lovers Facebook group. Feel free to discuss anything related to bedding products and down comforters. It can be fairly basic and straightforward. You can obviously put a little bit more time into it and provide, a few sentences worth of information. It doesn't have to be a ton there. And then use some descriptive keywords that will help people find your group. And this is based on interests as well. So if I type in down feathers, I have the down feather interest. Or I could also just type in comforter and select the comforter interest. But then I could also type in something else here, like, let's see if these guys are on here or not. Pacific Coast Feather Company, the organization. This is actually the Pacific Coast company that makes down comforters. So people that like the Down Comforter Company may be recommended my Facebook group by associating it as a tag right here. So, see what you can find related to your own niche. If you have to choose between particular things, you can only pick 3 of them. Go for the ones that are more relational to your niche, but also the ones that can offer you more exposure. The more likes a particular interest has, for example, then the more potential recommendations could be made for your page based on that interest if you are associating it as a tag right here. So once you've provided all this information, simply save your changes, and then you can return to the group. And you can see right here, there's a post saying that I updated the description and, added a photo and added the tags to it. My tags are showing up over here in the sidebar. And you can see that when I click on one for like Down Feathers, this shows me groups that are related to Down Feathers. So other people that are already in a group related to that is tagged with one of these tags, for example, might be able to easily find my group now by simply clicking on a tag through one of their groups. Now beyond that, the whole point of the group is to interact with people. So write posts, add photos and videos, ask questions to people to get conversation going. You can even add files that they can download and stuff like that. As people are added to your group, if you have it on admin approval, you'll get a little box that shows up over here on the side, and you'll have little check marks next to people's names that have requested to join your group. So all you have to do is visit your group and click on the little check boxes to approve them if you have set it to admin approval. But for this group at least, I have this set to open approval, so like any member can approve somebody. So I may not have to actually worry about approving people myself. Now, in addition to Facebook groups and the pages and everything, the other thing that I really wanted to talk to you guys about dealing with Facebook is their advertising. Now, this advertising is not something that you have to do. You can create your fan page and your group and link it up. Not a lot. Stan's asking how much time daily will you need to spend here. Visit your group or your Facebook page even once a day for like 5 minutes and just make a quick post on anything related to your topic. And honestly, you don't even have to do it on a daily basis. Even if you were doing it maybe once or twice a week or something like that, would still be enough to kind of keep conversation going and generate new content that could help to bring in new people for you. So this isn't something that you have to be constantly monitoring and keeping up with and updating all the time. But it is a way that you can build a constant contact with the people that visit your site and also help to bring in additional traffic to your site. So the Facebook advertising, it's completely optional. Once again, if you want to speed up the process of bringing in more likes to your Facebook page or bringing in new members to your Facebook group, then Facebook advertising is a good way that you can speed up that process. But again, you can get there without spending a single penny on advertising. However, I still wanted to show you guys some of my personal tactics that I like to use for Facebook advertising. So in case you are interested in doing some Facebook advertising, you don't get taken to the cleaners with it. Because if you go in blindly and just try to set up Facebook ads, there's a pretty decent chance that they won't do too hot on your first attempt if you don't have any kind of guidance to go off of. So what I'm going to do is walk you guys through some methods that I use. It's important to remember here that I'm using Google Chrome to do this, and I will actually show you when I get to it the particular reason why. Now I'm going to go to the Manage Ads page up here under the gear icon. Now what I'm looking to do, this is where you would go if you want to manage your ads or create a new advertisement. But the point of this is not to show you guys how to actually create advertisements. I want to show you guys a particular technique that I use to actually target people. When you're creating a campaign on Facebook for advertising, you have targeting that you can do where you can select particular countries or certain interests on Facebook, for example, and you can have your advertisement only shown to those particular people. So obviously you want to only be advertising to people that are the most likely to be interested in what you have to offer. And this is even true if you're only doing cost per click, for example. You might think, well, if I'm only paying when somebody clicks on my advertisement, then it shouldn't really matter how many people see my advertisement before an interested person clicks on it. All I'm really worried about is getting traffic. Well, on Facebook, the advertisements that perform better, Facebook is making more money from those advertisements than they are the ones that don't perform as well. So Facebook will actually give preference to the advertisements that are performing better, that are earning them more money per person that is actually viewing them. So as an advertiser, what you want to do to get the cheapest possible cost on your advertisement is to properly target it. You want to be promoting it only to people that you feel like would have a high likelihood of being interested in what you have to promote. Now, in addition to the normal targeting that you can do by simply going in on the page that I was just on and just creating your own Facebook ad and using the targeting options that they have available, I actually wanted to show you guys a different way that you can target potential customers here on Facebook. And the way you actually go about doing this is by creating a custom audience on Facebook. You can see I already have a bunch of custom audiences on this particular account. And again, this is just really the account that I use for my business stuff, my WordPress plugin, and Amazon affiliate related business in terms of teaching people. So I don't even do any of my actual Amazon affiliate advertising on this account. So these audiences are just, you know, other Amazon affiliates or other particular things that I may have promoted in the past. You can build a custom audience based on anything you want to, and you don't need to have a newsletter list or something like that. All you have to do is click on Create Audience right here and upload a file that contains ID numbers for all of the Facebook users that you want to be targeting in that audience. So what I'm going to show you guys is a couple of techniques here that you can use to collect those ID numbers. So I'm actually just going to open up a blank notepad file right here. I'll slide it off my screen here for just a second, and I will be coming back to that in just a moment. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use my own personal page as an example. But I'll actually come back to that in just a moment. So I'm going to click on the link and open up my own personal Facebook page. But to give you a practical application of this, I'm actually going to go somewhere where I could find people that would be interested in my product or my niche, for example. So I could type in like down comforters. Here's a down comforter page, a product or a service that it has people that have liked it in the past. So I could come to this page and look at people that have made comments on this page. This person right here loves down comforters. So I could target this particular person and I could open their page in a new window. Now, just to avoid using other people as an example here, let's say I had just found my own name and I was commenting on a page relational to something that I was trying to target. So I'm trying to get my own Facebook ID. Now, obviously, you have the username for the Facebook account. I'm Ryan Stevenson Marketing. But that's not the actual ID that I am after here. Let me slow down here for a second. What I'm doing here is I'm selecting the www in my URL, and I'm deleting it, and then I'm simply replacing it with the word graph. And then I'm going to hit the enter button. This brings up a page for me that shows some basic information on my particular Facebook account, and it'll do this for whoever's Facebook account you go and visit and change that www to a graph. So right up here at the top you get the ID number for that person. It tells you their name, their Facebook page address, their username, and even their locale, English, US. I speak English. I live in the United States. So you can even help with targeting particular countries or language speakers this way. Now, you can still weed out your people in your audiences with targeting later on if you only wanted to target English speakers or people that live in the US and you didn't want to have to pay attention to this down here. You can simply go through and do nothing but collect this ID number right here. Just select the entire number. Make sure you're not getting the quote marks on the sides of it. Get the entire ID number and just copy it and simply paste it into your notepad. And you can go through and get as many IDs as you want to and simply paste one on a new line. So each of these could be a different ID number for a different Facebook user. So after you have a big list of them created, then what you can do is go back into this Power Editor here and click on Audiences and click on Create Audience and then Custom Audience. Simply give it a name. Select UIDs right here and then click on Choose File, and then you simply want to upload this notepad file, find it on your computer and upload it right here as an audience. And then Facebook will have to approve that audience for you. They typically get that done within 24 hours or so. And then you can create advertisements and actually select that specific list of people to promote a particular advertisement to. So you can actually pick and choose every single person that you are paying to show an advertisement to. So there's like nothing wasted there. The people that see it can have a very high likelihood of being interested in what you are doing. And you might think this could take a long time, going through and collecting people's IDs manually. However, if you're doing it off of pages where people have actually commented, now this may not be the best example because like these comments were from 2011, so I would probably want to find something a little more recent. But I could go for like Bed Bath & Beyond or something, a large retail outlet. They may not have every product relational to the niche that I'm trying to go after, but there's a decent chance that people that like Bed Bath & Beyond might be interested in down comforters also. So I could go through here, and as you can see, I have tons of different people that I can actually get. All these people that are commenting on these different posts. And you might wonder, why is it worth the effort going through and picking these individual people that are making posts or comments and stuff like that? Well, the reason is, and make sure you look and get all of the comments that are being posted. Sometimes it'll only show you a couple, and there will be links that show additional comments, like down here at the bottom. View more comments, 2 of 343. So, that's a lot of people. And that's just 50 of them so far. So I could go through and collect all of those different people. But the reason why these people are valuable is because these are not only people that are interested or potentially interested in your niche, but these are also people that are active on Facebook and have a reputation right here for engaging on other Facebook pages. These are the people that you want to be liking your Facebook page and to be members of your Facebook group, because these people will actually type stuff. They will build content for you. They will talk with other people. So these are going to be your most valuable potential customers. So it can be worth taking the time and collecting even a couple hundred of IDs. You can do within a period of like 15 to 20 minutes or so once you get used to it. All you really have to do is just go through and one at a time open all of these pages in new tabs and just go back through them and type in graph. And after you've done that with a series of your pages, then you can simply go back through and paste all of these ID numbers into your notepad file right here. So by simply doing this, you are building a custom audience list that you can target with your Facebook advertisements. Now, you might also wonder, how can you get a lot of audience people all at one time? You might see some of the lists that I have here, like this one right here. This has 8,000 people in it. Do you think I sat there and picked off 8,000 people doing it like this? The truth is, no, I did not. I have another way that I go about picking off these custom audience people. And I actually have something that I am going to share with you guys here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and get into the search bar right here. Now, I did a little bit of hunting around to see if there are actually any Facebook groups related to down comforters and things like that that actually have any significant number of people in them. And the truth is, for my particular niche, there really doesn't seem to be anything like that, which on one hand makes me feel like it could be a good place for me to set up shop, because anybody that is interested in that might be attracted to my page. Now, another thing to consider is whether people actually would want to talk about a topic or not. Certain kinds of products, anything pet related, for example, people are a lot more likely to be emotionally involved with their pet than they are with their comforter. So there are certain topics where you will find it easier to find potential prospects, and also easier to build a Facebook group, for example, to get people interacting with each other. So for this particular site here, what I actually ended up doing was finding something betting related that I could go after. Now, I'm typing in a relational keyword phrase up here, but instead of just looking for something that's listed down below here, I'm looking for something very particular here. So I actually clicked on the see more results down here at the bottom, and this takes me to the dedicated search page on Facebook. And what I actually want to do is go over here and click on groups. Now, all I have to do is find a group that I want to target. So I could go after, like this one, furniture and bedding barn, people that are buying and selling you know, household stuff and bedding. So this group right here has 1,412 members. But the group is closed. So I can't see the people that are posting in the group. So I can't tell who's active in it or not. And sometimes I may not even be able to actually get into the group itself. But I'm going to show you guys how you can actually target all of these people right here from whatever group you want to target without actually being a member of the group or having any interaction with it whatsoever. Over here on the right, just click on this little See All link. This opens up a window for you. Now, this is another reason why I like to use Google Chrome. The audiences page on this Power Editor page, this can only be used with Google Chrome, but then I also like to do this technique with Google Chrome as well. So I'm going to scroll down this list of people. You can see that each of these people are people with a Facebook account. So I could simply open up all of these pages in an external link. However, the format of the way Facebook lays all this information out is uniform enough to where I actually created a little tool that can basically strip out all of the IDs for not just the first listing of people here, but if you continue to click on the See More button and scroll to the bottom and click on it again, then yeah, you knew it, Will. Yeah, I like to do my stuff. If I can program a solution for something to save me time and still do it just as effectively as, you know, manually, like obviously I don't want to create something that's going to write my content for me because it wouldn't be very good content. But when I'm just trying to retrieve user IDs, you know, that's definitely something that I can create a script to simply process for me. So I'm almost here. This doesn't take forever. You can see this is for 1,412 members right here. So I keep clicking on see more, and once I am finished, it will actually have all 1,400 of those people listed in this one window for me. Okay, I think I'm there now. Scroll to the bottom, you can see I'm all the way at the bottom, and there is no more see more button. So I'm just going to select a tiny bit of text right here first, and then I'm going to go all the way back up to the top now and hold down the shift button on my keyboard, and I'm just going to click right up here. So this is actually selecting all of that text for all those people. And then I'm going to click on the Inspect Element button right here. Now, this opens up a window for me. I'm going to expand this window a little bit right here. You can see the area that is highlighted for me. I want to actually look up a little bit further and look for this LI right here, and I want to collapse all of this. So now if you look at this information right here, you see each of these LI areas right here. This is actually a single person. Let me scroll down or make this a little bit smaller so you can actually see. As I hover over one of these, if I hover over the first one, it highlights the first person listed in that window up above there. And if I go down to the next one, it highlights the second person for me, and so on and so forth. So I actually want to collapse this another time here, collapse the UL, and so now this UL section here is actually an entire section worth of people and not just a single person. And each additional one of these divs down here, these things that says FB profile browser list, each one of these items is another group of people. Basically, every time you clicked on the other people have tried to do this stuff before. I guarantee I'm not the only one harvesting IDs off of Facebook, and probably not the only one with some type of semi-automated system to do it. So each time I clicked on that See More button, it added another section to this list here. So you can see there's really not a ton of them, this being the first one, and all the way down here being the last one. You can see with this one clicked on, if I actually scroll all the way down here to the bottom of this window and highlight this portion right here, you can see that it has the bottom of the list selected. So this lets me know where the beginning and the end of all of my content is at that actually contains all of these people within it. So yeah, maybe will. So all I'm going to do is select one portion of this at a time, and I'm going to right click on it, and I'm going to click on this Copy as HTML button right here. So I've just copied all of the HTML from this one section of people into my clipboard. And now what I'm actually going to do with this is I'm going to take it to a page that I have created on my own website. Now, I did not add this to the guidebook. I'm not quite sure why. But I will be sure to get that updated with a link so you guys can actually reach this page. But I added it into the chat box for you here. Now, as long as this page does not get abused, I will leave this up for all of my trainees to take advantage of. If for some reason I ever have to pull this down, I will provide the source code for this PHP page so you can simply upload this PHP file to your own server and have access to it privately. So all you have to do is visit this page and paste in the HTML coding that you just copied off of Facebook. Click on the process button and boom, you have a large list of Facebook IDs all ready to go for you. Now, it's actually duplicating them. Hold on, I wonder if that's why I had two of them, and it's been a little while since I've created one of these lists. Hold on, that's not right. Okay, there it is, a hyphen and a 2. Let me see if this still works. Okay. Scratch that link, you guys. I'm sorry, that first one I actually realized after a certain point, and I didn't want to destroy my work, so I created a second one of these pages. Use this second page instead. Why was the list so short? Which list? On that previous page on Facebook? This list? Or are you talking about this list right here? Each portion of this list right here actually includes a bunch of different people all within one section of this list. So this one section of the list right here is the HTML that I just processed over here. So that one piece of HTML coding actually has all of these people in it. Yes, and to get the entire list, you have to process each section of that HTML. So what you would want to do is open up a notepad file, paste in all of your IDs, go down to a blank line, and then simply return to the page once again and copy your next section of HTML coding. Now, you can't select more than one of these at a time. You could copy the HTML from one of these sections and go back to the page and paste it in, and then you could return and copy the code from a second section and return to the page and paste that in. However, you really do not want to do that more than about 2 or a maximum of 3 times. Number one, it will put extra strain on my server, and if it gets too high on this particular page, I would have to pull that down and distribute this file individually. But not only that, it can actually just slow down your computer as well once you get to the point where you're pasting in your third and your fourth and so on of these, because I've tried it myself. It really gets slow. So it's actually faster to just do this one, maybe even do 2 sections of HTML code at a time at the very most. So you can see here I've entered in 2 sections of HTML code, and it still, does it fine. There's no lagging or anything. So, continue to build your list in this same manner. It really wouldn't take me very long to go through all of these. Even if I did them 2 at a time, this would only take me another 6 or 7 attempts or something like that of copying the HTML code and pasting the new user IDs into this notepad file. And then I would actually have a notepad file full of 1,400 people that may very well have a good interest in what I am promoting. And those people, even if they've never specified any kind of interest in their Facebook account that would allow me to target them otherwise, you can target them this way and actually know that they have a particular type of interest. Yes, it is a quick and dirty scraper. Nothing pretty about it, but it gets the job done. So this is actually something I've never shared with anyone before, this particular tactic and this particular scraping method, and especially this particular page. I'll pull this up again just for those that end up watching this recording. It is ryanstevenson-fb-process-2.php. Visit that address and you can punch in that HTML code. Again, just please use it responsibly. Don't drink and click. You're welcome, everyone. Seems like that is a very welcomed technique. Thank you, Will. I'm trying to, I don't want to hold back on you guys and not show you the little insider tactics that I've kind of come up with on my own for my own work and my own sites and stuff. So, I definitely wanted to be able to, yes, help you guys succeed. Exactly. If you don't succeed, I haven't done my job. And, when I release a new Amazon plugin a year from now, if you haven't made a penny on Amazon, why would you buy my plugin? So definitely would like to help you guys get as successful as you possibly can. And this tactic right here, while I'm doing this for Amazon affiliate sites, obviously, this can really be used for anything. You can use this for local businesses to target their advertising. You can use this for any other kind of website you want to build, really. Any kind of Facebook advertising that you want to do, you can build your own custom audiences this way. So this is definitely not limited to just Facebook. Thank you, Peter. Thank you, Alice. Thank you, Stan. Thank you, Nicole. I appreciate all of your comments, guys. I believe that about wraps up all of the information that I had to cover for this evening. Next week, I'm going to be moving on to YouTube and Google. I'm actually going to do Google+, but then I'm also going to cover a few other Google services as well, like Google Webmaster Tools. Yeah, Peter, they do that, unfortunately, and some other people, I guess, when they're teaching you things, they'll leave out the part that actually gives them the great results, because there are a lot of things that if you duplicate it too much, it doesn't work as good anymore. But a tactic like this in an audience as large as the audiences that are available on Facebook, there's really not any reason to hide this type of tactic from you guys. You won't be direct competition with me, even if you happen to be going after the same niche as I am. Our advertisements will still show up right next to each other. So it's not a issue at all in that regard. Thank you, Stan. Have a great weekend as well. Next class for all of you guys is September the 2nd. It is a Wednesday, 6 more days. So I will see all of you then again next week on the 2nd. And, yeah, wow. Yes, October the 2nd, not September the 2nd. Wow, I got corrected a lot there. Thank you guys. Yes, October the 2nd, Wednesday, not September. So, thank you, Martin. I appreciate it quite a bit. In case any of you guys have questions, please feel free to, go ahead and ask. And if not, I will see all of you guys next week, but I'll at least hang out for another minute or two just in case you guys have questions and would like to ask me something. Thank you, Nancy. Good to see you again this week, and I'll see you again next week. Thank you again, Peter. Hope you have a great weekend. Thank you, Chris. Good to see you again. Have a great week, you guys, and see you all again on Wednesday.